it's Dr. Maureen O'Hara, and I'm going to go over references and citations in APA style. So first of all, you need the publication manual. This has everything in it. And then this one, the electronic references, just has references in it. Alright, so when do you need a citation? You need to have a citation at a minimum for statements of fact, definitions, statistics, and dates. More is better. Having more than one citation for the point you're trying to make shows that other people agree with you. And one source is not representative of the literature. What if the one source you picked out is not really correct or out of date? So that's why you need more than one. Suppose there are 4 sentences in a paragraph, and the first one is a definition, and the second one is a statement of fact, and the next one has dates in it, and the last one has statistics. You're going to need a citation for each of those sentences, even if it's all the same source. Now another example is, suppose you have 3 or 4 sentences to explain a procedure. You can have a citation for the first sentence and a citation for the last sentence, and the reader will understand that the information is continuous from the same source. If you end up having more than one citation within the parentheses, because it's always a good idea to have more than one source, then you can put them together in the same set of parentheses and separate them with a semicolon. So students tell me, well, I've used my own knowledge to write this paragraph, or this is the way we do it at work. Well, you learn the information somewhere, and somebody who made the protocol learned the information somewhere. So you need to have citations from the literature to agree with your statements. And remember that a review of literature is not about your knowledge, it's about what's in the literature. So medicine is evidence-based, and that's why we needed to have citations to acknowledge the sources. Okay, so going on to more specific references and citations, I'm going to go over journal articles, books, reports, and web pages, because those are the most common sources that you're probably going to be using. First of all, the reference list includes all the sources used for the writing of the paper. There must be a matching in-text citation for every entry in the reference list, and every entry in the reference list must have a matching in-text citation, or it's considered plagiarism. The reference list is organized in alphabetical order by the first author's last name. So here I've got 4 authors. This is going to be at the end of the alphabet there, because this author's name starts with Z. Do not change the order of the authors' names. Leave them in the order that they are in the source. If you have more than one source by the same author, then you list them in chronological order from oldest to newest. And if you have any sources with no date, that comes before sources with dates. If you have organizational authors, then you need to spell out the name of the organization. There's no abbreviations allowed for the organizations. So do not include the database. Don't include the ISBN number or the PubMed number. Don't include the number of pages, but we do include the range of pages. And we don't need retrieval dates except for unstable sources like wikis. And probably you're not going to be using an unstable source like a wiki. And we use the hanging indent. So the reference list looks like this. References is centered, it's not bold, and the whole entire reference list is double spaced. There's no extra spaces put in between. Here that's in alphabetical order by the first author's last name. It's got the hanging indent. And this is how you format that. All of these entries here are going to be 0. Then you're going to use the hanging indent with 1/2 inch, and then the line spacing will be double. Check off that box. And you can see this example on page 49 and 180 in the APA book, the publication manual. So who can be the source of an author? You only have 3 choices. The first one is people. Always look for people or a person who can take credit for the information. If there's no obvious people around, then the next best source is the organization. If there's no people or organizations, the last resort is to use the title of the article or the source. But as I said, this is a last resort. Look around and see if you can find a person, people, or organization that would be responsible for the information. So if you have a source without an author, then you start with the title of the article. Notice how only the first word is capitalized. Then you have the publication date and the publishing information. Same thing with for the in-text citation, the title of the article, but now it's going to be all the important words are capitalized, and because it's an article, it's going to be in quotation marks. Notice how the comma is there with the year of publication. So names of journals and publishers cannot be authors, and use the title of the article from the web page, or news organizations or newspapers if there's no byline with a person's name. So you may see this if you're using any of the television outlets like CNN, ABC, Fox News, etc. And the other place that you'll see this is in the editorial section. Usually they don't list an author's name, it's the editor. So in that case, you'll just use the title of the article. Okay. I'm going to stop here, and then I'll pick up again with the different formats for the different types of sources that I outlined.